from high school is a long-awaited goal, to be sure. But for many of these fine young people, this is not the end of their formal education. Many of them have more years of education awaiting them in colleges and universities in various parts of the country. For still others, employment is the choice. For those who want to work, some can use skills they learned in high school or vocational school, or take advantage of on-the-job training programs some employers offer. There are many different kinds of employment possibilities for young people here in Shelbyville. Industry, however, is probably most often sought by those looking for longer-term employment or those looking for a career in one of the many fields represented by industry here. We have 7 major industries producing everything from industrial heating equipment to dresses. They employ some 2,760 people, and this does not include smaller businesses employing hundreds more. For a town to have developed so many assets over a long period of time certainly attests to its progress. This is the W.S. Major Hospital as it appears today. It was established in 1922 when the home was given to Shelbyville to be used as a hospital. That was in memory of William S. Major and Francis Corey Major, who built the home in 1888. In 1958, the 2 wings were at the original building, giving us a 94-bed facility. The needs of a growing community have necessitated changing and improving of the hospital. Healthcare has improved dramatically in recent years, and Shelbyville has been very fortunate to have so many people engaged in this work. We have 19 physicians practicing locally, as well as many registered nurses, lab technicians, and other types of medical assistants. Most healthcare needs are met locally, but when more specialized treatment is needed than is available here, the needed service is usually available in Indianapolis, which is less than 1 hour away. In addition to the hospital, there is the privately owned Enloe Clinic with as many specialized services. The exterior appearance of the clinic has remained unchanged for many years, but remodeling and improving has taken place inside to keep pace with the latest methods of health care. A new clinic in a different location is planned for the immediate future. To find out more about Enloe Clinic, we talked with one of its founders as well as some of the other doctors there. This is Dr. Deborah Enloe, Dr. Abaletta, Dr. Paul and Dr. Bob Enloe, and Dr. Bangus. Dr. Enloe, when was the Enloe Clinic first established?
And really, as I told you before, it was 1916 when my 2 brothers agreed with, said we were going for practice in partnership. I didn't call it a group practice, and of course at that time the Mayo Clinic and some other clinics had been established, but my family, or even back into my father's and the grandfather's time, were used to partnership endeavor.
When was it first established here at this location?
1940, this building was built.
Doctor, I'm sure you're looking forward to the new clinic north of Shelbyville.
Yes, I'm excited.
What will be some of the new facilities that will be included there, doctors?
The building, of course, is about twice the size of the present building. This will give us much more room for our present facilities, plus capabilities for expansion. There'll be a lot more parking area. There'll be room for expansion of the clinic facility. As far as the services that are offered there will be the same ones which we presently offer.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the different services that you've offered since the beginning, Dr. Paul?
Well, a whole range of X-ray diagnosis, general surgery, internal medicine, and we're still offering those. In addition, we've added new services as they've come along in those fields. For example, in radiology, the introduction of ultrasound, we have that to offer our patients. Dr. Abaletta might want to talk about stress testing that he does.
Yeah, the other services that we have started offering is treadmill stress testing, And I think it should be mentioned about the immediate care, which is general practice. And also we have Dr. Andreessen came here to offer general practice. And
Okay. Dr. Vegas, we understand that you can handle almost all types of surgery here at the Inlow Clinic.
That's between Dr. Robert Inlow and me. Our specialty is general surgery, and we feel that within our capabilities, we offer a wide range of services in general surgery, with the exceptions of brain surgery and major chest or heart surgery and other big orthopedic procedures. We do practically almost anything that comes along.
Dr. Bob, how do our facilities here at the Inlow Clinic in Shelbyville compare with other cities around the Midwest that are our size?
Well, the clinic itself is rather unique in that I don't believe there are very many facilities of this type in the state. Certainly not in a community of this size. We offer a wide range of outpatient services at the clinic, and this just doesn't exist any place in the southern half of the state, anyplace else. Our hospital services are also varied, but and really very complete. These in some of the communities might be offered in the hospital services might, but it's an outpatient facility that's unique.
Doctors, we want to thank you very much for being with us today. We appreciate that. The best ways to judge a community's progress is by its financial institutions. Shelbyville has 2 banks and 2 savings loan associations and 2 branches of out-of-town banks. Farmers Bank has been serving Shelbyville continuously since 1892. Been updated many times during those years, and its services expanded and improved constantly to meet the needs of the community that it serves. Complete remodeling to the interior and exterior was recently completed, with many new services added.
I'm Carlos Craven of the Farmers National Bank in Shelbyville. I've been an employee of the bank for the last 29 years, and I've served as its president since January of 1976. Our bank was originally formed in 1892, and our first bank building was located on the southeast corner of the public square.
Since our inception in 1892, we've had 6 presidents. Our president was James Jeffries, and he served from 1892 until 1897. Mr. S.P. McCray served from 1998 until 1927, and Mr. J. Thurston from 1928 to 1935. Then our president was Charles Sullivan from 1936 until 1952, and our present chairman of the board, Arthur Thurston, served as our president from 1953 until 1975. During the past 50 years, this present bank building has been remodeled twice. The last time remodeling was finished was in June of 1976. We have 5 locations to better serve our customers. Number 1, we have a branch in Morristown, Indiana. We have a branch on South Harrison Street located inside the Thrifty Mart grocery store. And we also have a full facility branch on East State Road 44. Then directly in back of our main office, we have a drive-up facility.
He certainly has changed since the early days of Shelbyville, but so have our needs. Drive-up facilities is just one of the many ways that our banking is made easier and more pleasant than ever before. And with all the other things we have to do anymore, well, that's a big help. Union Federal Savings Loan Association is a very important part of Shelbyville. The building downtown has long enhanced the area, and many people rely on the time and temperature sign for useful information.
And when you know people like Angela Moore, the union's general manager, you can see why so many people rely on Union Federal for their financial services.
When was the Union Federal established, Edgar?
In 1893.
It's been in continuous operation ever since that?
Yes, it has. It's grown from a small firm with a manager and 2 tellers to a manager and 4 tellers at the present time. We have great expectations of growth in the future.
Your title, Edgar?
General manager. I'm really a jack of all trades. I may take the applications, check credit, get appraisals made, have the loans signed by the directors, and close the loans. I do a little bit of everything.
And when did you come with the firm?
I came here in December of 1972. I resigned as Shelby County clerk to take this position.
Can you imagine a modern service like that for a bank? Shelby National Bank has been serving Shelbyville for well over 100 years now, giving the most up-to-date financial services available. Don Sexton, Public Relations Director for the Shelby National Bank, will now tell us how the bank has grown with the city of Shelbyville.
The United States was just 79 years old when the Shelby National Bank was founded. In fact, Shelbyville was just 13 years old. Back in those days, there was no bank in this area, and so a man by the name of Samuel Hamilton, along with John Elliott and James Hill, organized Shelby County's first bank. It was officially named Elliott Hill and Company, but was referred to as the Shelby Bank. Later, Mr. Hamilton purchased his partner's interest, and it officially became the Shelby Bank, but being a small community and people being such as they are, they called it Sammy Hamilton's Bank. And by the way, the original vault that Mr. Hamilton used is still down in the basement. We couldn't get it out, so we built the bank around it. In 1905, it became the Shelby National Bank. The original wooden structure, built in 1870, was back on the northwest corner of Jackson and Harrison Street, a little place that Nick Lemming now has the trust department. And from that location, the bank grew northward along Harrison Street until finally reached the square. And then as years went by, we have purchased additional buildings to the west of us until we have grown to where you see it as it looks today.
How about a tour of the bank?
Sure. Why don't we take a little tour of the bank?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, great.
Well, we have the minutes of the last meeting.
September the 13th, 77. Board of Directors, Shelby National Bank, National Bank at 3:30 p.m.
I wanted to show you the Board of Directors room, and we're fortunate they're in session. These gentlemen are responsible for the business management of the bank. They are the ones who are responsible for all the major decisions that occur around the bank. Here you see Jack Green, who's our bank president, and George Stubbs, who's the chairman of the board. This, Mark, is the computer room. Now,
Now, these girls that you're watching are key punchers. Of course, what they put on the cards is quite important because the computer is as good as the puncher, and only as good. So when they get through with the card, they'll move the information into the computer room proper. We're real proud of this department. We're one of the, well, as a matter of fact, we're the only bank in this area, or Shelbyville, Shelby County, that has its own computer department. Now, what you're looking at now is, of course, the sorting of checks. Really saves manpower.
This is the bookkeeping department. Very active place. All the records are kept here. Checks are sorted. Various papers, various ledgers. All the, as I say, bookkeeping. Consequently, all the records are kept here. That's Velta Harrell, who is our auditor. She audits every department constantly. Don Gayheimer, the head of computers, discussing a problem with Marianne McVeigh, one of our loan officers. And now, Mark, there's our 24-hour teller. Some of us call it Tilly the teller. But it's a very simple operation whereby you can make deposits. You can take money out of your checking account, out of your savings account, make a loan payment, any time of the day or night, 7 days a week. 24-hour teller. Our drive-up window service on West Jackson Street, just west of the main bank. And this is our bank out of Bel Air Banking Center. One of our latest is the mini bank here at Thomas 421 Market on East 421. Great service, Mark.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, Mark.
I wanted to tell you I just finished a tour of the Shelby National Bank. I think you'll like it. I also want to tell you that we're invited over to see the new facilities at First Federal Savings and Loan Association. Can you meet me there in about half an hour?
Sure, Mark. I'll see you over there in just a little while.
Yeah, First Federal was, we received its first federal charter in January of 1937. Before that, it was the Mutual Loan Savings Company, which was a state-chartered association, which became later federalized. And at that time, it was located up on North Harrison Street at the southeast corner of Franklin and Harrison, and later moved down on the northeast corner of the public square. And stayed there until the new building at the present location was completed, and the move was made in December of 1975.
Mary Jean Bass, Vice President of First Federal Savings and Loan. I started here July of '55, which will make me beginning my 23rd year. In October of '76, they surprised me and honored me with putting me on the board of directors. And I believe that would mean that I was one of the first ladies to be on any board of directors here in Shelbyville, which to me was quite an honor.
The one thing that these financial institutions have in common is that they all contribute to the growth and progress of the community.
By providing loans for building new homes and remodeling and improving existing ones, these projects would be virtually impossible without money to finance them. But it is important to remember that financing is just one part of the overall picture. Supplying all the necessary material for these projects ensures the progress of all those engaged in construction. The Jail Parish Lumber Company has been providing material to the building trade this area since 1885. Lumber is probably the first thing to come to mind when we think of the J.O. Parrish Lumber Company because it is the basic material for almost all construction, but it is by no means the only material offered. Construction is much different now than it was when Parrish first started business. There are new materials, new ways of doing things, new and better tools to do the job, and there is much more building being done today than ever before. J.O. Parrish has kept pace with the times and throughout its history has been able to meet the needs of people in the building trade as well as those doing their own work. Besides people in sales who give much helpful information on new products and how to use them, there are those who estimate the cost and who draw the plans for any building project. There is also an up-to-date mill where they manufacture pre-hung doors as well as do many custom jobs for their customers. Parrish Lumber continues to be a very sound part of the overall business picture of Shelbyville.
Hey, mister, see those shavings lying on the floor. He's still the sharpest pencil in town. Yeah, his profits are much fuller.
But his reputation's tough.
For whittling that old pencil down. He's selling more cars now than ever before. Both in and out of town, my friend. But he knows you'll be back and he'll be trading again.
You know how you build a reputation in the car business? Selling good, clean, used cars like Bob Wood at Country Ford. He makes his used cars look and drive like new. People have trouble telling the used cars from the new ones, and Bob Wood makes a friend every time he sells a good used car. That way he knows you'll be back, good buddy.
Yeah, he knows he'll be trading with a friend once again.
Why don't you come on with Bob Wood at Country Ford in Shelbyville?
Well, if that you could want right here in Shelbyville. There are car dealers here representing every major car manufacturer in the United States, as well as some of the popular imports. Car dealer in Shelbyville in continuous operation is Shelbyville Motors. They were the first Ford dealer here starting in 1913 and continuing in the same location for more than 63 years. Their dealership is now Lincoln Mercury. And as Paul Graham, the president of the agency, will tell you, the cars are different now. But the good service is the same as it was when they sold those early Model T Fords. The large chain stores became the chief shopping place for the housewife. The neighborhood grocery was not only popular but absolutely essential to every neighborhood. In those days, the friendly grocer was within walking distance to nearly every housewife. But if she desired, her groceries could be delivered to her door by many stores. Many of those small stores continued to serve their faithful customers up through the 1950s and 60s. But as the years went by, few continued in business. Well, there are 3 left today in Shelbyville, and for those who have never debated at the candy counter, and for those who have forgotten, we'd like to take you on a visit.
Yeah. 28 years there, the first of this next year. And in the process, I've watched these children grow up, get married, and have families of their own. There, son. And I've enjoyed every minute of it.
How many stores were there here?
There was 49 grocery stores in town when I come here on January the 1st, 1950.
How many is here now?
Now I believe there is 11, counting the large supermarkets, all of them.
How many neighborhood stores are there?
How many neighborhood stores? There would be 4.
I bought the store in August of 1926. It has been a good neighborhood store, and this is the oldest plotted residential neighborhood in Shelbyville.
How much longer do you think you'll be here?
No more than about 8 or 9 months.
There is something about these small stores that keep people coming back. You can usually find what you want here, and they're certainly convenient, but probably the part people like most is the friendliness of the people who operate them.
Hello, it's Allison.
You live close to Wiley?
At Van Avenue, on Van Avenue.
How long have you been coming into Wiley?
How long have you been here? 27 years. About 27 years.
Guess maybe you like to come here, don't you?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Mr. and Mrs. Wiley told us how they feel about what they do.
All right. How long have you been here?
Junior, can I help?
In the store about 26 years. 15 after uses.
With 22.
Few steps. How long do you think you're going to be here? Oh, I don't know about that. It's hard to say.
Do you have any plans for the future, or how many years you'll be here?
No, I don't plan that way.
Was this a grocery store before you were in here? Did you buy it from somebody?
Yeah, I bought from Mr. Cuppet.
How many years would you say that you've been a grocery store?
I really don't know.
Probably 7,500 years, I imagine.
Well, I think that's about right.
Supermarkets first appeared on the American scene in the late 1920s. Those early stores look much different than the ones we know today. But it was the beginning of an evolution in food marketing that is still going on and probably always will. This is a typical present-day supermarket with which most of us are familiar. As we've seen, there are very few small groceries in operation today. And because modern supermarkets have become larger and far more efficient, only a few of them are needed. Today's stores are usually attractively decorated with products displayed in a pleasing way. All of these stores have large parking lots, and you can usually depend on someone carrying your purchases to the car. When the supermarket concept began, they featured fewer than 900 items. A person doing their grocery shopping today in a modern supermarket can expect to find more than 11,000 things to buy. It's interesting to note, however, that all these things we have to choose from are not all things for people to eat. There are more pet owners today than ever before, and those owning dogs spend $3 billion a year on dog food alone. This does not include cat food, bird seed, and many other kinds of pet food, nor does it include medicines and accessories to make your pet feel better and look better. Considering purchases like these, plus hundreds of other non-food items, one begins to see that all the money spent on grocery shopping is not necessarily all for food. It does, however, point up the fact that those in food business want to make things as convenient and pleasant as possible for those wonderful people called customers. Supermarkets are not all large chain stores with many markets in many different towns. This is the famous and popular Thomas Market, known by almost everyone in this area.